Hello and welcome to another episode of SoFly. It is July 15th, and we're back here recording yet another episode for you. My name is Mitch, and we've got Aldo. Cracking a beer.
That was a bad crack.
That's a good crack.
Hi, everybody.
Well, how the heck are you? What do we got going on in the community? What's going on?
I'm pretty good, man. Just cracked a little beer to start off my day.
Delicioso to start off the day.
To start off, just to take the edge off. Some non-alcoholic beer to take the edge off. July 15th. Well, I'm assuming the Good Lot event went well.
Yeah,
because that was
our Good Lot.
That was the July 13th Trout Rodeo. It's the third Trout Rodeo.
Third annual.
Partnering with Patagonia store, and Hooky sent some films and some stuff, and Drift Outfitters is there, and Isaac Walton and all that good stuff, raising money for the Credit River.
Yeah.
Which just seems to always, I don't know. There's a lot of rivers that have a lot of problems, but my God, mega quarry. Now they want to pave like a lake and dump like garbage in it.
Fill, yeah, it's like treated as a good construction
fill site, which is ridiculous.
Caledon,
what the fuck is going on?
Town council needs to like give their friggin' head a shake, because like that's ridiculous. Dumping garbage from construction sites into Swan Lake,
and then the sewer or the sewage treatment plant.
There's no excuse for it, man.
And the mega quarry. It's ridiculous. Like,
it's ridiculous. It's people selling out, right? They're getting cash. They're cashing out. They're making their bucks, and then they'll leave and do whatever. And they don't care.
They don't give a shit.
What's left behind? It's terrible. Yeah, I don't know.
So if you listen to this, you're in town council in Caledon. I don't care if you hate us. you guys suck.
I think they know what they're doing is wrong, but they don't care because they're probably getting money for it. Right?
Yeah.
Or they say like, oh, we need development in the town, all this stuff. It's like, yeah, for sure, but you got to figure out a way to do it that doesn't destroy friggin' nature. Like 2025, climate change is out of control. Seeing what's happening all over the world, and yet people don't friggin' learn. What's it gonna take? I don't know.
I guess them dying. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. Like dying from climate change is what I mean, not me killing them. I just, although...
July 15th, 2025, we snapped.
SoFly snaps, killing spree.
If you listen to the arc over time from the beginning, we're like early days optimistic, and now we're just killing people. Yeah. No.
Yeah, but seriously, like, it's really disheartening.
But it's good that Good Lot does stuff like this, and we still have the community coming out to try to push back on it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just don't understand why it always has to be an either or thing in terms of like development and I know. I guess
it's
like
harder and more expensive to do it the right way. Yeah, it's easier to dump friggin' insulation in a lake, drywall in a lake. Sure, dump gallons of construction shit
paint.
In a lake. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do that and just be like, done. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. God. It's really frustrating.
Well, maybe it'll leach into the water supply and they'll all get like some sort of neuro disease. And
they will.
Oh,
that's the problem.
What happened?
Yeah,
what
we don't
happened?
want... Well, no, the next generation will, which is the friggin' problem, Like,
well, I'm sure the Shoppers Drug Mart, McDonald's, concourse that exists everywhere. Yeah, that will get built because of this. Yeah, we definitely need 10 more of those. Caledon's such a beautiful area too. That like
beautiful place.
You
could develop it so well, like so nicely.
I heard this person say like, Ontario, it's not as pretty as a place like Paris, and they were like on a town council, and it's like, well, yeah, it's because people like you
don't try,
and you,
or maybe you're trying, but you're not. I don't know what you guys.
You're
are
okaying
against,
the same fucking projects, with the same fucking subdivisions, with the same fucking Shoppers Drug Mart, Walmart, Plaza everywhere. It's like
change is hard.
Yeah, no shit.
Doing the right thing is hard. It's not easy, but it's still the right thing to do.
It's lazy.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just it doesn't make any sense to me because it's like I know that. There's lots of good people that, are also buying this stuff. What is going on? Why is the wrong thing happening again and again? I don't know. It's got to be just money and greed and I don't know, man. It's wacky times.
Path of least resistance.
Yeah, we're too close to Toronto. People are like, well, it's too big a city, you know? Like, if you want nature, go north. Why can't we have nature here?
Fucking right.
You know? Like, maybe Caledon could be an awesome example for what a town should look like. You know, and they can develop it in such a way. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. Like, why not
We have to. Like, the world's
be the
literally
city
choking
of...
on itself.
Yeah.
On all of our bullshit, you know?
Oh my god.
Prime days.
Oh my god.
Fucking stop buying on Amazon. Just killing the world. Stupid Amazon. I hate you.
Anyway, this next segment is brought to you by Amazon.
We're pretty pissed off this morning, aren't we? Got us all fired up, Aldo.
Well, you know, it just pissed me off. Like, I mean, it's just like yet another. It's just yet another thing, you know. Like, it's just yet another thing that. I mean, obviously, the Credit River is a place that we all enjoy and recreate on, but like, there's a lot of problems. Like, if you look at the development that's happening in Amber's neck of the woods, like she's been posting about
out in Alberta.
Out in Alberta, you know, and it's like, oh, we're fabricating some sort of town, you know, on the Bow River watershed, and it's like, okay, for what?
I know. It's just such a weird friggin' time, but maybe in all the chaos we can still have some. Maybe we shouldn't relax. I'm trying to say, like, we could get together and we can do stuff like Good Lot Rodeo, which I'm sure was awesome, and it's cool that they do that because that's the kind of stuff we have to do en masse. More people need to care and do stuff, you know. All of us do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's not the time to celebrate anything. You know, shit's crazy, brother. Right? But I will celebrate Good Lot because those guys are great.
Sure.
Thank you for putting on the rodeo. Okay. Well, what else do we got going on in the community right now? I mean, like, before we get into Blue Fox Camp, because we're talking about Blue Fox Camp today, which is a Northern Ontario fishing lodge just north of Elliot Lake that we just went to. We've got Nick Roman on, we've got Idis, and the four of us chat about our trip to Blue Fox Camp, which is a trout-only fishing trip in Northern Ontario.
Which
very
is
unique,
super neat.
Mm-hmm. So we talk about that. It was a super fun trip. Stick around. But before we get into that, what do we have any events coming up?
Not really. Nothing coming up in August. And I'm just, you know,
enjoy the summer.
I'm looking at just looking at stuff on the usual, you know, websites. I don't really see much on the. I mean, again, if you're in the Ottawa area, ottawaflyfishers.ca, they usually post their monthly events on their website. You can look at the Forest City Fly Club for stuff that's going on in the London area and the Hamilton area Fly Fishers and Tires. You know, because those are the clubs that and Isaac Walton. Obviously, there are more than those clubs, but those are the clubs we interact with the most. Obviously, Drift Outfitters will have they're constantly doing educational days, which is kind of cool. Not kind of cool, it is cool. And but I'm just looking on their lessons and events at Drift Outfitters. Pop it up here. Yeah, it's just everybody's
out fishing, man. It's
Everyone's
July.
out fishing. There's
it's
there's just
it's okay. You don't have to have community stuff right now.
You know, guys, August. You know what? August, just go out there and fish.
Get out there and fish, baby.
And burn down Caledon City Council.
No. Well, no. Peaceful.
Peaceful violence.
Yeah. Pool noodles. Hit them with pool noodles. Bing, bing. No, don't hit them at all. Give them these looks.
I'm so mad at you.
Okay, let's get into the Blue Fox Camp chat right after these words. Well, we've got Nick here. Nick Roman. Nick, how are you? You
doing good? Doing great.
Got Idis. Idis, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks, man. Good to be here.
Good to have you. We are excited to jump into today's episode, which is all about Blue Fox Camp and our recent trip to the beautiful place. What a great trip.
That's super fun. I mean, it's, this has become kind of the northern content crew, obviously, it's awesome to work with Algoma again and Rob and his team at Algoma and stuff. But Nick, you've been on so many of these journeys now, and Idas as well, of course. And it's nice. We've got like a little groove going, of just visiting the north.
Oh, I love it, man. I'm honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, it was fun, man. I'm glad that we all got to go together because it was a really fun trip. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk all about we'll just do like a whole trip overview because the thing with Blue Fox Camp is like I heard all about Blue Fox Camp for quite a while before we went up there, and I'm sure lots of people on listen to this are the same. Although, what is Blue Fox Camp?
Well, Blue Fox Camp. Blue Fox Camp is it's a fly-in camp plus 2 outposts. It's located on Kirkpatrick Lake, which is a short flight away from Elliot Lake. And Elliot Lake, Ontario, is not that far from Toronto, relatively speaking. It's just kind of past Sudbury as you head. Whoa! What was that? I'm having a little soda pop myself.
Oh, a little spellbound is what I call it. Windbound, nice. Skokalaga.
But yeah, so getting to the camp, it's you fly in from Elliot Lake. There are ATV trails, and then in the winter, if you're recreating up there, if you're from Elliot Lake, you can actually access a lot of these lakes from sledding trails, which is kind of cool.
You can also ATV in the summer. Like you don't have to fly in. That was another option, which is super cool.
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, I thought you said only in the winter.
Okay, I'm kidding. Yeah. But yeah, you can definitely ATV in. You can ATV in. Did you know that, Mitch?
Yeah, not just in the winter.
Yeah. The Kirkpatrick Lake is also known as Blue Lake.
We should have done that. We should have ATV'd in.
I don't know. I think it's a few hours, man.
That's all right.
The plane. I'll take the plane.
It's so much fun. Planes are always fun, but ATV ride in, that would have been so much fun.
It would have been
super
Maybe
fun.
the next one.
I mean, ATVs would have been handy for some of those back lake trails.
Big time.
That's true.
Just gonna put that one out there.
We'll get into that.
But we'll get into that. But yeah, Kirkpatrick Lake is also known as Blue Lake. The Blue Lake system is part of the Algoma Highlands and consists of 8 feeder lakes: Blue, Rob, Elbow, White Bear, which will come up in this podcast, Townline, Finn, Spot, and Pointer. And they all discharge into Blue Lake. And they contain naturally reproducing lake, rainbow, and brook
Just every
trout.
15 seconds, there's a can opening.
It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, there's like a ton of lakes, and they stock them with trout. There's some naturalized fish in there. There's some lakes that are native trout. It's crazy. It's like all of these just trout lakes.
Yeah, exactly. The naturally reproducing trout, especially the brook, rainbow, and lake, like that trio of fish, is found in less than 1% of the lakes in Canada.
Wow,
which is kind of
cool fact.
And it's kind of led to the Blue Lake system being designated as a sort of fish sanctuary. Obviously, you can keep fish, but there's special regs and seasons and whatnot. The system is also part of Little White River Provincial Park. Again, we'll get to this later, but when you guys were when we were all fishing the waterfall, and then Adis and Nick went on their little vision quest down the river, that river is the Little White River, part of the Little White River system, where the provincial park gets its name. So all that to be said, it's a main lake and a bunch of back lakes around it. You can fly or ATV into Blue Fox Camp. Blue Fox Camp has 2 outposts. Blue Fox Camp itself is a sort of off-grid experience. I say sort of because they have Starlink Wi-Fi, but everything else is generator and solar power, so there's no connectivity to it. We're talking about outhouses, not septic systems, and some really cozy cabins.
There's a shower cabin as well.
There's a shower cabin. Yeah. I thought the grounds were really cool. Like that little, they've got a bridge over a little stream. And,
super cute.
And everybody's super nice. I mean, I've never gone to a lodge and had people not be nice, but
it's true.
It's the same of any Algoma lodge. They were just super nice.
They're all a bit unique.
Yeah,
they all have their unique charm.
And I think this one particularly was interesting because it was just so trout focused, right? Like a lot of the lodges in Northern Ontario kind of maybe there's a side trip for trout or something like that, but you have a lot of pike, walleye, that kind of thing is kind of the norm. But everyone there was a trout angler. Everybody there was talking trout at the dinner table at night. And I think that kind of was a unique experience for me anyway, for Northern Ontario camps.
Oh, ditto. And there was no bycatch of pike or bass or anything. It's just
crazy.
Trout.
I found that so interesting, eh?
Yeah.
Like this is the first trip we've done, like northern trip that was just trout.
I know, it's weird. Usually we leave Toronto and, we have a bunch of 8 weights and pike flies and, wire bite. And this time it was just, we got to pack our trout gear, which we never do. Yeah, it was bizarre. It was interesting and kind of exciting.
We still brought some 8 weights.
The idea of, catching a rainbow, a brook trout, and a lake trout all in one house you do is quite titillating, and that's exactly what we did.
Well, that sounded impossible, though. We should highlight that sounded like a pretty tall task when we first came up with that, right?
Oh man, yeah, like definitely. I mean, the other thing about Blue Fox is known for these gigantic brook trout.
Oh yeah,
yes.
They stock the back lakes with Nipigon strain brookies. They grow really fast and really big, up to the tune of like 7-8 pounds.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because when we got there and they were talking about trout, we're used to talking about trout in inches, and he's like, "Oh no, that's like 7 pounds." We're like, "Wait, what? Hang on a second. hang on. Let's take a peek."
8 pounds.
Hang on. But yeah, Nick, I'm with you. I wasn't expecting to catch lake trout at all.
No, I thought that'd be the hardest, but we were in for a surprise. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. We went up there. We caught every type of trout that has to offer, and I thought we had a blast, and Pete and his team were really nice. I mean, it was a really great trip. It was one of our shorter trips.
Yeah, and it was cut short. You should mention that, right?
It was cut short, but even without it being cut short, like I don't know,
quick rip.
It was a quick rip.
All we need, baby. That's all we need. Get in there, catch a fish, and get the hell out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's start it off with we left Toronto and decided to do a little Poutine tour on the way.
The Poutine, as they call it.
When you got a long drive, and it's actually not really a long drive, but anything over
the shortest drive we've done for a trip.
Pretty much, yeah. Anything over 2 hours, you gotta spice it up, have a little fun. So we thought, why don't we make it even longer by stopping at fry trucks and eating a bunch of poutine, which I don't know if that's like the food you should choose before like a fishing trip, like fill yourself with like gravy and cheese curds.
I gotta say no.
But that's what we did, and it was kind of rad actually.
It was awesome.
We went to 3 poutine spots: Sudbury's Best, Happy Grillmore's
in Espanola.
Sudbury's Best at Sudbury, and then what was the other one we went to?
We didn't go to a third.
Yeah, we didn't go to a third one.
We wanted to go to a third one in Elliot Lake, but
we were gonna have the third one in Elliot Lake,
but it was closed.
Yeah, but it was closed. So we had 2 places in between. So what a tour, eh? Okay, between Sudbury's Best and Happy Grillmore's. Sudbury, like Happy Grillmore's, I love you for the name. Sudbury's Best blew him out of the friggin'
Oh my god!
I think what we wanted to do was hit Mum's place in Elliot Lake. Yeah. Oh my god!
What?
What are you looking
in
at?
Toronto?
There's a poutine festival in Elliot Lake.
No.
Oh wow.
No.
Like right now?
June 19th to 22nd.
Oh, we just missed it.
We just missed it.
Oh my god.
Damn.
That's gonna be way more interesting.
We gotta dial this in.
Okay, well we gotta go back. And that's during your birthday.
Shout out to Sudbury's Best. It was actually really good poutine.
And they were very excited.
They were very excited about it. It was awesome. So
I think it was Sudbury's Best.
It was. If
legitimately,
you're ever in Sudbury and you want poutine, go there.
It was the first one though, and we were the most hungry at that point.
But I don't know. That was a pretty good poutine.
It's pretty good poutine.
It was very tasty.
Good way to break up the trip. And then we got to Elliot Lake, which cute town. That's my first time ever being there. Have you guys been there before?
Yeah, no.
First time for all.
No, just driving through.
Past it.
Yeah. I thought it was a beautiful town.
Yeah,
it is.
Uranium mining was their thing many years ago.
Beautiful.
And they were just beautiful. And they were chosen for Craft Hockeyville, which is kind of cool for people who don't know. That's all the towns across Canada.
Yep. Great Chuck's Roadhouse.
Apply to get like $250,000 of arena upgrades for their local hockey rink. And there's like a whole day of like programming with the NHL. And I think that has something to do with how new everything felt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like, you get out of the city, hockey is a big part of life.
Big
People
time.
stereotype Canadians as loving hockey. And it's like, you want to see people that love hockey, get out of Toronto.
Go to Elliot Lake.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Elliot Lake.
Go
Stop
to
at Chuck's Roadhouse. Come on, let's go.
Well, what was it? Game 6 of Edmonton and Florida that night?
I don't know. I remember $6
5?
Negronis, though.
Yeah, I remember $6 Negronis and $4 beers, which I was like, did we just walk
Sign
into the
me
Chuck's
up.
Roadhouse of the past?
2008 pricing.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
That. I think that's like one of my favorite parts of any fishing trip is that like first dinner,
the first night.
Yeah, the weird bar you end up at.
Oh, I love it so much, man! It's the best. And
yeah.
I mean, Chuck's Roadhouse. It's not the weirdest bar. There's Chuck's Roadhouse around here, but everyone was packed in there watching the hockey game, getting rowdy. A lot of Edmonton jerseys. A lot of sad faces later on, but I mean, at the beginning it was full of energy and it was a lot of fun.
And we just rode that high,
Yeah.
It is awesome, like drinking that first pop before.
Oh my god!
Trip.
After that drive, short drive, those.
Well, and then we went to a deserted air base.
Yep.
And slept in the hangar. No, not exactly, but
that's probably the most unique thing about the trip in a weird way. Like we were flown in by Glassy Bay Outfitters.
Hi, Todd.
And
shout out to Todd.
Yeah, Todd and his team. And Todd was like, when are you guys getting there? And I was like, probably not till like 6 p.m., kind of thing. He's like, oh, I won't be there. Just let yourselves in. And we're like, let ourselves in.
What?
It was awesome.
And we show up and it was pretty obvious. Obviously there was a cabin and stuff.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was like the a lot of these float plane bases have a
barracks,
to call it,
really.
like a common room
Fishing
where
barracks.
people can hang out and check
Waiting
in for
room.
their flight. And this one just happened to have a bunker room.
Yeah.
So we slept in and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Because we got up the next morning bright and early. We loaded up the plane. Todd greeted us. Hey, Todd. Thanks for letting us crash in your fly pad. And then we hopped on a plane. We loaded it and hopped on a plane. It's only a 15-minute flight into Blue Falls.
Yeah.
It's not far at all.
No.
But, it was fun being on the float plane again.
Todd runs a tight ship.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Those are nice planes, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love those planes. We got a real history lesson, or at least I got a real history lesson.
Yeah, you were in
there.
the front on the cans with him.
Yeah,
So
we were having a private conversation. Can't talk about it.
What'd you learn?
Well, I mean, all those planes, they were
De
popular.
Havilland's, of course.
What's that?
De Havilland's, the Beavers.
Yeah, they got real popular
Workhorse
because
of
they're
the
so
North.
reliable and there's no electronics. Like everything's mechanical, which is why they're so popular. And then they're the old turbine engines. So eventually they'll swap the engines out, but those planes are super sought after specifically for this sort of thing.
And
There
there
you
wasn't
go.
many built, right? It was like
I don't know.
100 or something like that.
I think they were because I think they're. I was under the impression they were built in Canada.
Yep.
They were.
Yeah, for like the logging and mining and all that sort of stuff for getting people around. But they made a point to say like, all of the flying you're doing, it has a little GPS. You got a little Garmin up there, but the plane itself, everything's mechanical. Like I asked him because we go on these planes all the time, and the pilot's always like, they're always doing something. Their hands like turning knobs or twisting things. You're like, what is this, like a bop? What's going on here?
It
Yeah.
does look like a bop.
Right? So I was like, what are
twisting
you doing?
shit.
He's like, oh, that's this. And I was like, what's this over here? And he's like, oh, this makes this. And I was like, okay, cool.
The
And then
plane
the
was
pi-
from.
Were you just making sure he knew?
Honestly, he could have said literally anything. I would have bought it. I was
I
very
think he
trusting.
said the plane was that specific plane was from like 52 or something.
Yeah,
like 1952.
So
What?
there's
There
a
was-
real golden era of those planes where they're super reliable.
They were only produced for 20 years, from
Yeah.
47 to 67. Built in Toronto
How
at
do
the
you know all
Downsview
this?
factory. Internet. 1600.
Oh.
1600 were made.
1692.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I got
He
57.
said specifically the rotary engine, much like the Mazda RX-7, was very
Okay.
popular.
Okay.
Much like the Mazda RX-7. Great
All right,
comparison.
Paul Walker.
Shout out Paul Walker. What's up?
I
Yeah,
love those
pretty s-
beavers. I think they're so cool.
they're so cool.
The beaver, the turbo beaver, the otter, and the turbo otter are just like the coolest planes.
Yeah, they're
There's,
great.
there's even Instagram accounts totally devoted to it.
No
which
way.
I
Yes,
started
they follow us
following.
now.
I know. Aldo mentioned it to me, and I started following them. And now
That's
it's like,
sick.
aside
The
from
div-
SoFly, my favorite Instagram account.
The de Havilland fan account is awesome.
Oh, that's
I've
right. you
actually learned a
shared
lot
it,
about
yeah.
those planes from that Instagram
yeah,
account.
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, about the turbo beaver, especially. They're
Yeah.
like, they turbofied the beaver for firefighting,
Makes sense.
Wow.
according to this Instagram.
That's why you
account.
turbo things.
That's why the turbo beaver exists.
Turbo Beaver, of course, is made famous by the SoFly podcast because that's what Melanie flies at Hearst Air.
Or stereo.
Turbo.
God, those planes are cool. There's nothing cooler than getting on one of those things and flying north into a fishing trip. It never
Accurate.
gets old. Never
Nope.
gets old. So we landed on Blue Lake.
Nope. That's not true.
That's
Yeah.
100% true.
That's
It's not called
100%
Blue
true.
Lake.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is.
Kirkpatrick
What?
or Blue
Kirk
Lake.
said
It's
Kilpatrick Lake.
It's got
got
two
two
names. bud.
names.
Oh,
That's why Blue Fox was the original owners.
what?
Camp.
This is
Yes.
crazy.
The original
you
owners
can-
was the Fox family.
And you can ATV in all year
Well,
Really?
we covered this.
or fly.
Yeah.
The camp, we landed on the lake. We went up to the dock. We were greeted by the owner, Pete,
Mhm. Pete.
and
Shout out
his
Pete.
crew. Great fella.
Great fella.
Finn, awesome.
hmm
They loaded at our bags, brought them to the cabins, and then we kind of jumped right in. They made us some breakfast right away.
Oh,
The
my God.
food up there was
Oh,
great. I really
that
that
liked
was
was
it.
amazing.
very good.
Yeah, the cooking was awesome.
I hate saying it's like the best food we've ever had because that sounds disparaging to the other lodges, but I think this food was a little bit better or something.
Something about it.
Maybe
though.
they
It's
brought
Not
like
that the
they
food
heard
at
that
the
we were
other
coming
places
and
are
they're
bad.
no.
No.
I'm just saying it just
Maybe we
This
got
is-
maybe we got
No.
preferential treatment.
This is
no,
my favorite
definitely
food.
not. Everybody there was eating communal meals, and man, oh man, no, they're putting the effort in though. I was really impressed, especially.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really
Yeah.
nice. You could see they were like they cared.
Okay,
Yeah.
right away out comes. Was it the wraps that came out right away, like the prime
Like
rib
breakfast
wraps? Or was it
sandwiches
the
on-
breakfast?
It was
English
breakfast
muffins.
sandwiches.
No,
yeah,
breakfast
yeah.
sandwiches.
sandwiches.
It's
Later
unreal.
on came the wraps with the prime rib and the wraps.
Yeah,
and
that
everything.
was
that
great.
was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
But yeah, you can really tell they took their food seriously and large volumes of food.
yeah.
Gr-
Give them a
great
shout out
dogs
for the
too.
food.
Great,
Mhm.
great lodge
great camp
dogs.
dogs.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
I
great to
like
know you
those
got
ones.
good food. When you're up there, it's awesome. So, yeah,
That's
shout
a
out
big
to
part of
that.
it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And then we kind of got settled, and our cabin was wicked.
Oh, that was a great cabin.
It's like maybe my favorite cabin out of
I think
all
that
of
was
the cabin.
yeah, that was my favorite one.
it was cool. It was a
High
big,
ceilings.
open,
Yeah.
high ceilings, very
Yeah.
big, kind of great room cabin.
Lets all the funk go up, so you're not in it too much.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
It rises to the ceiling.
That's
of
right.
The cracks of the log cabin.
Let that funk seep
And I
out.
loved the
was
little
nice.
I love the little the propane. What are they called? Those
Yeah,
propane
just the
lanterns.
propane lanterns. Yeah.
Yeah, those are cute.
And Mitch really knew how to work them because I
Oh,
don't know what the
man.
fuck was going on.
I was about to light them on fire.
Well, yeah, you guys were close. Those
What's the
mantles
element
were-
called again?
It's called a mantle.
The mantle.
Yeah, and
That's the first
So-
time I've ever seen those. I'll be honest.
So wise.
Come
They haven't
on,
asked me
fellas.
about
Yeah, man. I don't know. I've never seen that. I was like, I don't know. I'm not touching this thing.
oh man,
Just
there's nothing
letting
like
it
a
get
little
dark.
propane light.
I know. I
Ooh.
said that too. I like twisted the on switch on, and I was like, and it didn't go on, and I was like,
I'm out.
I'm out.
I hear gas.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
sad
gonna
to
need
think that
fire.
you fellas would have been in the dark hadn't I been there
We'd have gone lantern.
for like 3
Accurately.
days.
yeah.
We've just been sitting in the dark drinking beers.
We were just sitting in the dark, glowing blue.
That's right.
There's people listening to this right now going, those idiots.
That's right.
Well,
We live in a city.
Yeah.
it was like you say, it's a camp, so yeah, that was propane lights, and there was no power or anything. I mean, there's some solar stuff, but yeah, it's camp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's camp.
really nice place. There was like 4 or 5 beds in there.
Interesting
all
art
spread out.
on the wall. Lots of indigenous art on the wall. It was kind
Yeah,
of
A lot of
Mhm.
indigenous art around the whole
True.
place, like the cabins on the I guess the eastern part of the camp. Eastern is like they were all painted with indigenous art. I thought that was really cool, and carvings and stuff. The camp was a logging camp originally in the 40s, so there's some relics of that era of the camp around, which is cool. Obviously, a lot of saws,
Mhm.
but a lot of like old machinery too, which is kind of neat.
Oh, I love
uh,
that.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
You could probably find like old saw blades and stuff in the woods still.
Yep.
Like, it was a pretty big operation. Like it spanned all the way down to the falls, right?
Yeah,
like
that's right.
so there was it was a big expanse of logging up there. So yeah, pretty cool old history. And then yeah, the Fox couple bought the camp like a long time ago. But Pete's been coming up to the camp since I think he said the 80s or 90s, something like that, since he was a kid. And
Yeah.
so he eventually took it over and And now it's like like the first half of the year he opens it up to the public, and then in the summer he closes down, right, and kind of just enjoys it himself, which is pretty cool.
But reopens in the fall, in September for fishing.
Right. So we're back.
Which is great because it's like the trout,
fall.
Peak trout,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pete bought it in 2015.
2015, he picked it up.
Yeah.
So it closes down for the summer months and then back up in the fall. So yeah, we were the last trip of the spring season.
Yeah.
Well, I knew I was going to like it as soon as we got there, and Pete started pulling out all those maps, and like he wasted no time at all getting right into the back lakes and starting to mention about just some of the different features of the back lakes and pulling out flies and telling us techniques right away. And yeah, you could tell it was like we're at trout camp now,
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time.
No.
It was like right into.
Oh,
this is what I'm thinking you guys should do.
It's always awesome when we go to a place and the lodge owners are fired up. And they're like, hell yeah, you guys are here. You guys are going to like get on some fish. And they're just like, just go, get out here. Yeah. Here's the plan. Like, get after it.
Yeah, and they're excited.
Dinner's
at 7.
For
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like kind of thing. Yeah.
Like, good luck.
And he's not like, this is where you're going to catch the most fish. He's like, here's the lake where you got your 8-pounder. They're like, what? 8-pounder?
Like, that's too many pounds.
And he's like, there's 10 of them left. I'm like, 10? How do you know that?
I know them.
They keep a tight eye on the, I guess, like the status of the lakes, right? Because they're stocked. And so it's like, those are the 2023 lakes. Those are the 24 lakes. Those are the
I thought that part
lakes.
was really cool, too. And he was saying, like, this one was fished in the winter more heavily. Like, there was a lot of ice fish. It was really nice getting this, like, this level of detail and information to like really kind of, he didn't really tell us what we had to do. He's like, you got to go here. It was just like, this is what's happening. This is where it's been good. This is the information I have. You guys make your own decisions. But like, I thought that was really cool. And it's like seeing them that fired up and like have all like keeping such tabs on what's going on with the fish is pretty nice to see.
Yeah. And I know we're probably going to break it down day by day, but a lot of options. That's what it felt like. It felt like a variety of different options. Like the majority of it was stillwater. Some of the smaller lakes offer really good stillwater opportunity. There's obviously the larger main lake and some of the other lakes nearby that offer stillwater opportunities for things like lake trout and rainbows. And then you even have that little river nearby as an extra little cherry on top. So it really did feel like, holy moly, every day we had a whole different options available at our disposal, right?
Totally.
Well, what was the first thing we did?
Well, we got our gear. What's the gear load out here? So I was fishing full sink in line, and I went to Troll Town pretty hard right away, which we'll talk about in a minute. We were fishing like streamers. Their whole thing up there was like, black egg sucking leeches, orange bead. Like everybody's like, those are the things that are doing it. We had a whole bunch of those and some other flies. What other things we had going on, fellas?
Well, Pete definitely suggested trolling, which is interesting because as like fly anglers, we don't usually think of trolling as being the first thing that comes to mind. We think of like beautiful casts and stuff like that. But like the history of trolling flies goes way, way back into, I'm going to butcher the years and my history lesson on fishing streamers, but back to like Carrie Stevens days in Maine and the trolling flies with their stinger hooks hanging off the back, like the gray ghost and some of those flies. And a lot of the flies they fished at Blue Fox and are recommending were in those similar veins.
Which is
actually
really
I
cool.
one in my hand. Pete gave me this guy. I kept it. I swiped it. You guys didn't notice, but I got a little like muddler thing there with the
that's a good one.
Yeah, like such an old school fly that you just don't really see too much anymore. That was Pete's favorite, he said. And for people who can't see what I was holding up, it's literally grizzly hackle with a mother minnow head. It's like a grizzly mother.
Yeah.
And I thought that was
big
really
old
cool.
stinger hook.
Yeah, it was like really charming that like some of these old patterns and those old techniques of trolling flies is still in place.
Black nose days, like you say, gray ghosts, those Mickey fins, like those old trout flies. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. I don't know, it was very, very charming to hear that that's still being used and effectively. So that's what we did. We listened to the lodge owner. We went to Troll Town, as Mitch says.
Bam.
Yeah, we did. And it's not. Here's the thing that surprised me the most. It was actually a relatively quick troll. So we hopped in the boats. We drove down to the other end of the lake to Little Bear, or White Bear, right? What was it called? White Bear?
Yeah.
White Bear Lake. So we hiked in with Finn. He showed us the way. Finn was one of the
Little
employees
buggy.
there.
Little buggy.
It's a good overall thing here. It was quite buggy. The whole week we were there, weekend we were there.
Little buggy.
Good Lord. anyway, we hopped in some tinnies and then we hit it out and they said go fish this shoal along the side of the lake, so we went straight over there just to check it out right away and work our way back. And yeah, Pete was like, it's not. I was like, is the troll like you sort of kill the motor for a bit and then kind of pump it and then kill it and just kind of like drift with the wind and like you're going kind of slow. He's like, no, like he's like just idle as slow as you can, which is still pretty fast, especially trolling a fly line. I'm like, what? Yeah. He's like, just idle speed, just zip up and down. I'm like, okay. The first cast I made, I had a hit on my fly right away. I had a
30 seconds in, man.
30 seconds in. I had a Scotty McFly on, which is another fly that they suggest. The white and orange marabou and the flash on it. And cast that out. And yeah, like I was like, oh shit. Like I wasn't expecting a fish. So it's like, I didn't hook set or anything. And then it came out and I was like, that was for sure a fish. And you guys were all like, there's no friggin' way. Like he just hooked.
No, Mitch. No.
I was like, that was for sure a fish. He was like, no. Obviously,
he don't know.
He don't know. It's too early, all that stuff. So then we start trolling. Idis and I. We have, 50 plus feet of fly line out. It's full. Like I had a Type 5 singing line, very short leader. Whatever.
That's what you want to do, though, with the Type 5. You don't want a long fucking leader to have a belly in the leader. You're trying to sink the flies.
Exactly, yeah.
The line sinks, the flies floating.
Really, really short. Like maybe, honestly, a foot or two. Like, we're trolling pretty quick. We want our fly to go down. I'm not too worried about fish seeing my leader. And then I put on this, I changed my fly after a couple passes to this crazy thing I just tied. What is that fly? Did you just make that up? Is that like a freestyle?
I don't know. Honestly, I think it was like the closest comparison is Nick, you'll know it. What was the
he's building you up. You need to
he was really teeing you up like real nice, and you're like,
I knew
he don't know.
I don't know.
You're supposed to be like, that's my secret pattern.
No. I don't mess with the secret.
Because newsflash, it's slammed.
Yeah, it's slammed.
What was the that I forget who the tire is. The grapefruit steelhead fly.
Oh, like a Feenstra /
Kevin Finstra.
Yeah. So I got it in a lot of those over the winter, and I started tying up some like pretty sparse, a lot of like flashaboo in the back and this big old bulky head, for like extended bead chain eyes, like weird things. So I had tied this fly. I don't know what it is, but I tied it for kind of like clear, lower water steelhead conditions. Mitch, to your point, like when you were getting hit, we were in there like, wow, you're getting hit. Like, what's going on here? And they were like, they're short striking. Like, they're definitely just hitting the back of the fly. So we're like, I don't know why.
You needed to fly with like a stinger, a trailer hook, and we were going through your box, and you're like,
I just like I grabbed a bunch of steelhead flies because sometimes I fish them for browns and stuff. And boy, it was a good thing we did.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. But the only reason we put it on was because of that trailer hook. We're like, we need something. You're like, this might do it. I'm like, let's do it. And the thing was a lake trout factory. Like the lake trout loved it. So and I are just trolling up and down the shoal, slamming Lakers on the fly.
Yeah, it was great.
For the record,
we're having a great time.
I did not bring steelhead flies.
Yeah, you guys were slamming. It was great. I mean, like I said, I think all of us leading up to the trip, it was June, middle of June. Like, I'm not expecting to catch Lakers on the fly in the middle of June.
No.
In the middle of the day.
Yeah, that's also a good point.
10 to 12 feet of water.
We made up our minds to go to this back lake because we all got fired up on the idea of catching rainbows. Because he was like, the rainbow fishing has been great on this lake. And we were like, oh, sick.
Great.
Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I know Nick hates rainbows, but that's okay. So, but you got vetoed, and we
send all your hate mail to info@sofly.ca.
Nick, subject line: Nick hates rainbows.
I just don't prefer them, for the record. Okay.
Yeah, you like them. You got some. You
got a couple though.
I got some nice ones. Yeah, I was pretty happy.
But we were fired up on the idea of rainbows because we were like, "Oh, the Lakers going to be a long shot," and it was not a long shot at all.
No. It was immediate.
They weren't huge fish. Like, we weren't catching massive Lakers or anything, but they were pretty fish. They weren't like 6 inches. They were like nice enough, and we were hitting them quite often. And
I mean, you did get a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What happened there, Mitch?
Oh God, I forgot about that. Why do you have to remind me? Why do you have to remind me? I had a really nice fish on Idis's freak fly, and I was fighting it for a while, and I was like, "Oh God!" And it was on an 8-weight rod, and I was like, "This is a big fish." And we're like, "Oh frig," And I was fighting it for a while. Had the hook pinned, I thought, and then I got a weird angle of it. It swam up, and I was kind of stupid lifting my rod too high, and just before Idis and I were able to see it, and he could net it, just before it peeked through the thermocline and revealed its beautiful specks, it popped off, and God, I was so bummed about that. And that was the
fish.
lake trout we were going after. That
Dude, your 8-weight was
100%.
corked. And then we brought it up with Pete after, and he's like, we've caught 18 pounders in that lake.
Yeah, we did not need to hear that.
God, imagine if you could. It does suck.
I was so sad.
It
and
does
I'm so
suck.
mad about it now.
There's an extra element of suck when you never see it.
Oh, yeah. That's the worst part.
Yeah. Better to not hook it.
It's
And
okay.
I know it was
it
big,
might have only
man.
been 14 pounds, Mitch. Don't worry.
Yeah, it was probably only 14.
Imagine she's just like this shark.
God, dude. Even 8
Yeah.
pounds would have been swell,
Oh, yeah.
And because we're first day, this is the first hour.
First day,
we're out
first
there.
hour. Like, man,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah,
You
especially
guys
because we
really
like.
did-
Yeah, it was good.
Especially because what?
Especially because we had like written off lake trout immediately
Yeah.
when we got there. We're just like,
We're
no,
like,
we're not even gonna
long
try.
shot. No
Yeah,
way.
no, we're not gonna be trolling down 30, 40 feet. Like, nah, forget it.
And that was it.
Well, in our mind, I mean, in my mind anyway. I mean, like I knew because we had chatted at length with Mark Parr and also
Yeah,
our
shout out to
friends
Mark.
John Clip and
And shout out to Andrew Steves as well.
yeah, all these. We had a bunch of people help us out with the recon of this trip, which was great.
Yep.
And we definitely knew trolling was probably going to be on the program, even though, there's a lot of different types of still water techniques. Like Nick, you brought a drogue. We could have wind drifted or trolled with the wind. Fishing under like indicators, like the was it Tim
Fly fisher
Rowley?
guys did.
Yeah,
Phil Rowley, sorry, my bad. And I that's a technique I use a lot in other stocked lakes and ponds and stuff that works really well, but not here. And
Because you guys were trying.
I was definitely trying. I was especially trying after I ditched my entire fly rod in the lake.
Yeah.
Oh,
Talk about
yes.
loss.
That happened.
Talk about loss.
Oh,
Not
what
the
happened
most
there? I don't know if you wanna
heartbreaking
recap.
loss on that lake that day.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys had a very different experience than Mitch and myself.
How did you? Aldo lost his what rod? A loop.
It was a loop. Was maybe my favorite rod ever. It's
Was
a
it the
10
cross?
foot. No offense to Reddington. 10'7" loop Evotech cast.
Evotech, yeah,
Responsible for many firsts and PBs.
and a Hardy reel on it.
Had a Hardy reel on it.
So if anybody finds it,
So if anybody finds a 10'7", if you're at Blue Fox Camp and you're fishing Little White Bear Lake and you dredge up a 10'7" loop with a Hardy reel and a DI5, that was the
Yep.
other thing. I don't know if what was more heartbreaking, losing the rod or my or my fastest sink rate line.
you should explain how that happened, though, because people are going to be wondering how something like this could happen.
Oh, we were trolling, watching these two guys catch fish, and I leaned back on my chair. The chair was not attached to anything, and I just like went full yard sale. I just like fell off the chair, and like I let go of the rod to, I don't know, I guess like,
Stop.
stop
Well, you just
falling.
fell back and launched the rod. You yeeted
But
it.
I didn't really like realize. I almost kind of didn't realize that the rod had left my hand, because by the time I got myself up and we were back trolling, I was like, oh, "Fuck, the rod's in the water!" And I was like, "Nick, go forward!" And Nick's just laughing, because why wouldn't you be laughing?
Because it was hilarious to watch him fall. I didn't realize.
And then we just
Yeah.
watched. By the time Nick changed the gear and we went forward, you could just see it like the Titanic, just like
Had your heaviest line on it, brother.
just go,
Mhm.
just slip into the depths.
That line sunk like a rock, and it had
Sure
your
did.
whole rod and reel attached to it.
I can't believe how
Yeah.
fast it sunk. That was
It
like,
is odd, yeah.
it
You
just
think the
dropped.
cork would help a little?
I know.
I mean,
Oh, it dropped.
There's
It
a lot
was
of
like-
metal in there.
Well, you know
It's
what?
true.
Testament to that DI5 line, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah, for real.
It does sink.
Also,
It's-
it is cool that you're putting out that if anyone is ever there and finds it, because
Yeah.
who knows, if we keep paying for this to be hosted, we could be like 70
Yeah.
And someday someone will be like, I heard it on the show, and here's your rod. Who
And I'm
knows, man?
dead.
This is like your message in a bottle. We're sending it out to sea. Go up there, get yourself a free rod.
There's still
Little
a fish attached
White
to
Bear
it.
Lake.
No.
Yeah.
Give it back. I want
Take
it
a picture,
back. I don't
tag
have that
us,
rod anymore.
and you enjoy
Free
that
rod.
combo. That's yours now.
I bet you it's sitting at the bottom of the lake straight
up
up.
and down.
Straight up.
100%.
Yeah.
100% it
Well,
is.
Idis and I trolled by it a few times,
Yeah, we
trying to like maybe we'll hook the line, maybe we'll hook a guide. I don't know.
It's
Like
gotta
maybe
be
we'll
like 50 feet down, man. That was
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe
we'll get lucky and it'd be the coolest thing ever. But
Yeah.
dude.
Well,
with a little downrigger will get it.
Shit
tried.
that bends, my friends. Shit that bends. But I definitely was a much less effective angler the rest of the week. That's for sure. But that's okay. Mitch, Mitch, Adis, you guys did a great job catching fish that day. Nick and I were significantly teased by a very large rainbow trout pattern rising around us that we really, really wanted to try and get.
We were
But it was
chasing
cool. It
it.
was just watching it eat whatever it was eating out of the film. You could see like its dorsal come out and then its tail. Like you got a sense of the size of the fish, and it was pretty, it wasn't small. And it was a beautiful lake. I mean, every lake we went to was like it's something to say is like incredibly clear.
Well,
Yeah.
the next day was
Crystal
an
clear.
interesting thing because this is when we went and did our first back lakes thing. So
Yes.
So what was this day? What entail? Where did we go? Nick?
Oh, so the plan was
Aldo?
we were going to leave camp in the morning.
Yeah.
Because we had a great day. We, just to crap off that day. White Bear Lake was great. Caught a bunch of Lakers. Went back, had dinner. We trolled around in front of camp after dinner. I don't think we got anything. We made a plan to check out because they're almost like chains of back lakes. So if you get into one, you can get in a couple more. So the idea
They're
was
small.
they're small.
So you can
they're
do
like
multiple.
some of them are quite
like
small,
a pond
like
size
a pond.
almost.
Yeah.
So there was one chain of lakes on the eastern end of Kirkpatrick Lake, which is close to the eastern outpost camp, and we were going to meet Pete there for lunch. So the morning was going to be spent. There was 2 ways we were going to kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Mitch and I were going to fish one lake. Adis and Nick were going to fish another lake, and then we'd meet in the middle lake, fish that together, and then go back the way we came and meet Pete for lunch.
Yeah.
The first lake that Mitch and I got to, I can't remember the name of, but yeah, it was tiny, but it was gorgeous.
It was Davy 1 and 2.
Davy.
Both.
Davis 1 and 2, right?
Davis, thank you.
Yeah. That's right. I'm trying to remember what happened that morning. Like
Nothing.
Nothing.
We had
really
a
happened, right?
a lot of walking,
Yeah.
a lot of paddling.
Yeah.
But we didn't connect with anything.
That's right. But the coolest thing was the little first lake we went to. Like you say, we kind of So like me and Aldo went and we hiked into the first lake. Maybe I don't know, 10, 15-minute little walk into the first lake.
Oh yeah, nothing intense. Yeah.
And then you're in there and there's canoes and we got in and it's so small, this lake, and I'm like, oh, this is so sick. Like if you lived up there, like Pete, and you're just like, I just want to pick that apart for like a week. That'd be pretty fun because it's so small and manageable. You could really figure out where the fish hold in the summer. You know what I mean? Like it's so small.
Well, because the fish are there, right? And I think I remember Pete saying, at least the way that Adis and I were going in, which is the opposite direction that you guys were headed, was that the first lake we were fishing had numbers, right? So we focused on that a little bit. We didn't really have any activity over there, but then we got to the other lake, which I don't know if I should mention the name or not. You guys can decide. That was supposed to have the absolute Titanic size brook trout in it.
Yeah.
And I know.
Keep it secret, keep it safe.
I don't know.
Why not? There's
It's up to you guys. I don't know.
it's
if you
public,
want to
Lord of the
mention
it's
your name,
public
but-
access. Let's keep it
exactly.
secret. We'll just call it Tank Lake.
But yeah, there's Tank Lake back there, and I don't know, Adis, you got thumped there, right?
Yeah, we start like I'm trying to remember because we saw fish hitting the surface. Remember? And then we got whacked, which was nice because it was like we were working, right? And by the time we got in there, we're like, okay, cool. We had fished that first lake. We were like, all right, let's move on because we were supposed to meet up for lunch. So we're like, all right, I don't want to spend too much time. And we got in there and we started trolling around, just casting at structure and stuff. And yeah, we saw fish come up, which was cool. And then we got whacked and we're like, okay, there's stuff happening here. This is pretty cool. And knowing that it was like a size lake, which made it a little bit more exciting, which was pretty cool. But spoiler, we didn't land anything. Nothing made it to the boat. And then we found you two in the woods. And then
we met up. We met up in the middle.
Yeah, you guys had to bring us a canoe.
We did.
So me and Aldo were standing on the shore, getting totally.
You guys are just like, can you please hurry?
Can you guys hurry the fuck up? Like we're like, yeah. And you guys are like trolling across the lake. We're like, oh my god, we're gonna die here.
We're like, we just got a hit. Leave us alone.
Yeah, for real.
I was paddling.
It would be cool to spend. It was a few hours. Like we were there for like the morning or whatever. But it'd be cool to spend like a full day on one of those lakes, I think, and like really try to pick it apart. Like you could do that.
Yeah.
I think too, like, I just pointed out that, that particular day, our first day had great cloud cover, which is probably working in our favor. The second day we had it was bluebird. So, that never is great for trout fishing.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe early season when the water's frigid, but aside from that, usually that's a bad sign. So, definitely if we were there first thing in the morning or last light, I'm sure, something would have happened, but still beautiful path. Again, I can't believe how clear these lakes are. Like you've got 20, 30 feet of viz. The color of these back lakes are, if you're watching on YouTube, like the color of this can or Adis's shirt, kind of like aquamarine.
Well, and it makes sense too that they're such good brook trout producers because a lot of them are spring fed, apparently.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, they are. Yeah. I guess that makes sense is why this little part of Ontario is so trouty, like all these little spring fed lakes, like very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Not typical. So we left there. We all hiked back
we met up and then
respective ways,
parted
back
ways
to our boats. Yeah. Which the walk back was much faster. That was kind of weird. It was like to talk about Twilight Zone earlier.
You know where you're going.
Probably, yeah. It just felt very quick. But
I was like, no time at all. Like we beat you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
And you had one less lake to portage through.
Yeah, we did not fish on the way back.
No, neither did we, because we were going back to meet Pete for a little shore lunch at the outpost cabin.
And can we just say, these outpost cabins, those were very nice outpost cabins. And that the location was, it was great. Because I think a lot of times you hear outpost cabins and people think they're kind of run down and dingy. This one was awesome. I was like, can we switch on over here? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's like on a cliff overlooking the end of the lake, and you're next to the waterfall, which goes down to the river, which, after a delicious shore lunch made by Pete, he cooked us up some trout from the lake.
We demoed that trout. I was like, this is a lot of food, and it was gone.
We smoked it. It was delicious.
I just want to hold on that shore lunch for a second, just because
please.
I know Pete was saying he was really talking up the lake trout that we were going to eat. And as somebody, I think you guys have probably had lake trout before. I usually kind of turn my nose up at lake trout maybe a little bit and think, it's a oilier fish, usually white flesh on it. But the lake trout that we were eating that came out of Blue Lake looked like sockeye salmon, the color of it.
Yeah.
Like bright pink, bright orange. And we had a little fish and chips with, I think that was Pete's tartar sauce that he brought out there.
Oh my God, that tartar sauce was insane.
That made me rethink lake trout. Let me tell you that.
That was really good lake trout.
That was definitely a highlight for me, was that shore lunch for sure.
Oh, totally.
The shore lunch was really, really good. Yeah. Yeah.
We filled our tummies
because we were going everybody.
I love I love catch and release.
Sorry.
But,
trout are delicious.
Eating a couple trout.
But trout are pretty delicious. I will also say, I didn't really notice. I don't know. Mitch and I had this weird thing where we didn't see Pete, and then he just kind of appeared at the camp. Do you remember that, Mitch? And then when he was leaving, he was just kind of gone.
We just looked over. His boat was there.
We didn't hear the boat arrive or leave.
No, it would have had to have driven right by us. So there's some weird shit.
There was no boat.
We're going through portals. Pete's a spirit,
Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone. The Blue Fox Ghost. Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Hey man, sign me up.
So the shore lunch was awesome, Pete. Thank you for cooking that up. That was really, really fun.
Whether you are real or
not, a couple of years,
you know your way around cooking a trout.
And then he said, "Well, why don't you fellas go have yourself a little fun down at the waterfall while I do some work here and fix up the
Vanish into this
Velcro scanner.
portal.
Yeah. And so we did. You kind of like boat down a channel. You get to the head of the waterfall. You pop your boats on shore and you walk down.
What a waterfall, though. That was a crazy waterfall.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's really,
beautiful.
really beautiful.
It's not a little one.
No.
It has a huge, gorgeous pool and run at the bottom of it.
It's more of like a
big,
gorge, you know? Like
yeah. Well, that was part of the logging operation, right? That waterfall. I don't know what it did, but it was part of it.
But yeah, that
There's
was
a
like I
mill
was
there
talking
or
about the top of the show. It's part of the Little White River system.
Yeah, it's like the tip of the lake, you know, where it starts tailing out, turning back into, I guess, kind of a river or something.
Yeah, which was really, 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 really cool. And we get down there and Mitchie's first up.
Well, yeah, like not by you guys didn't say go fish. I was like, see ya, and I jumped in there first.
No,
I'm
you were like,
needing
can I
a
have first cast?
here.
And we were like, yeah, go for it. You didn't snake
thanks,
anybody.
fellas. I thought I just stole that opportunity, and I was like, fuck it, I'm stealing it, and I did.
I just want to highlight that you were wearing jeans. I don't know why, but
it's the perfect.
That's Mitch, man.
That was amazing.
Wait.
He's standing on a rock with jeans on, and I'm like, this is interesting fishing attire.
Just wait, fellas. Okay, a couple years from now, everyone's jeans are coming back, fucking around. Everybody's gonna be in jeans and be like, "This is the real utility pant of the woods. Is denim."
It certainly
used to be. It used to be. It's coming back, and I'll be the one laughing.
I'm just looking at satellite images right now of where we were,
jeans?
and there's of jeans of the Levi's factory actually. And boy, what a fit! And but I'm looking at where we were on the waterfall. Above the waterfall is just a massive log jam from old logging logs.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like it's crazy. It's like pretty crazy actually.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
lobbed a cast, caught a fish, rainbow trout this time. So far I've got myself some Lakers, and then I've now reeled in a rainbow.
Dude, it was a great rainbow, man. You're downplaying it.
Nice one,
slams the fly. It goes airborne immediately. And it was like, we were all like, oh, shit. Like, this is a big fish. It's like an 18-inch fish.
It was a river runs through a Brad Pitt moment, and he just kind of like shrugged it off because Mitch is so cool.
Because he's wearing jeans.
And Nick didn't hesitate at all. You just got right in the water with the net.
I know, Nick's
like,
awesome.
We're not losing that fish, man.
Yeah, he's like, no waiters, right in.
Just
in the river.
Giant net.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
Landed that for me.
It was such a scenic place. I felt like that was an important fish. We needed to get that. And Mitch is playing it cool right now, but he was pretty excited.
Oh yeah, very excited, man. It was a really beautiful spot, and the fact that we had gotten it right on that first little cast, you know, so I was like, oh, awesome. There are fish down here, and they're not Lakers, and they're not brook trout, they're rainbows, which is cool. Now we have the shot of the trifecta.
Yeah, and there's a lot of bugs down there. Well, mention that.
A couple bugs.
You guys bounced. Was that why you guys bounced? You guys decided to head back to the?
Well, you know, we fished for a little bit longer, and nothing happened for a bit, and Aldo was making casts, and I think the whole pool was spooked, and then we went to friggin' Bug Town, and we're like, let's get the hell out of here. Let's go back to the lake and catch lake trout.
But I'm interested in hearing what you guys did, because
we went deeper. We went deeper.
Yeah. I think we were throwing streamers initially, which is just seems to make sense with when you got a big prime hole, and you think that there might be a big trout in it. But after we did that for a while, we switched to, at least I know I switched to like a nymphing rig. And then we pushed further down. And I know, Adis, you had seen a fish in kind of the next hole downstream of that, which again was a pretty big like pool. And then I ran a stonefly nymph through there and got absolutely crushed by a pretty nice rainbow. And I don't know. I don't know how big that rainbow was, but it was a really nice fish. Really, it was a nice fish,
man. That was a good one too. Well, I think it's like, because I went when we were looking around there. I saw, like, I was running flies through, and I saw a fish come up and go for it, and I was like, "Fuck, Nick, get down here!" And then you did the smart thing and put on nymphs, and it worked out pretty good. And then I didn't bring the net down river with us, which was dumb.
No, so yeah. You did I think you ran up to get the net and ran back down, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly.
We got
it all worked out. It all worked out. And then we went deeper.
And then I was already super wet yeah, and I was already super wet from netting Mitch's fish, so I was basically waiting and working my way down the river. I saw Adis's rock climbing abilities come out as you scaled a cliff instead of going in the water.
I should not have done that.
We
That was
kept
stupid.
going down river, and got some more rainbow.
Yep.
Certainly
was
made it
it.
a little more awkward, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I was excited.
Yeah, we got another.
I got in the
beautiful
water on the
rainbow
way
in
out, though.
rapids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice. And we got out of
Although,
there.
what did we do?
We left.
Yeah.
And we went to Troll Town.
Yeah. We saw
We-
Pete. He's like, just troll this bump right here for a bit. And we were like, okay.
Yeah, Pete
We
was
got
still
Troll-
at
we
the
got
camp
Trout.
or not, and he was like, oh, there's a off this the point, like off this point, which was just like the opposite shore of the outpost camp. He's like,
Yeah.
you'll see a shoal, troll either side of that shoal, or fish either side of that shoal. And we usually pick up fish on it coming up or going down. And sure enough, we go over it, and Mitch gets another Laker. It was awesome.
Boom.
It was awesome.
Boom.
Yeah. And then I think we got a couple bites too. And then you guys came back up and we boogied back to camp.
And then we
We
boogied
boogied.
back to
Yeah, we got
camp
the
for
heck
dinner,
out of
and
there.
That was night 2.
Boom. Night 2 done.
Next day
Next day.
day was another small lake. We were obviously now we really focus on trying to get a brook trout because we have Lakers on the board. We've got rainbows on the board. Now we got to get a Laker. So we went into a different chain of lakes, this time walking north of the camp there's 3 lakes, 2 or 3 lakes up there.
And we had some good intel from the people that were there as well, that was probably our best bet for some of those lakes for brookies.
That's right, because they had fished it the day before, right? And said like they had some good stuff going on.
Yeah. I think they were running worms, I believe, but they interacted with a very large fish, and I know Pete felt that I guess the year class of fish that were in there probably presented our greatest chances at finding some quality brook trout. It was surprising that brook trout were the last of our trout to catch in our Blue Fox Slam. I thought they were going to be the easiest ones, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
I know.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we did save the best for last. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I think what's cool about these lakes, well, aside from the way they look and obviously the fish that are in them, is the trail starts at camp, so you don't have to run any boats or anything. You just obviously we have camera gear and all that stuff, but
This was a longer walk too.
It's a longer walk for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we have camera gear and stuff, but like you could just pop a backpack on and hit the trail with a
100%. Yeah.
Especially in jeans. I will say, fellas. I will say.
You need some cutoffs.
Into the lake we went. We found our canoes. We paddled out, and it was troll time. Just trolling. We're just trolling.
Well, I was loving the day. I don't get to fish with Mitch very often. I mean, I got to spend the morning with Mitch, and that was really awesome. That we switch every day. For those that don't know, typically on these trips, like you alternate who you fish with, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mitch and I were together, and we got our canoe into. I can't remember what the first lake was called.
I don't think it matters.
Doesn't matter. We did a few portages, and then we got into what would turn out to be our most special lake.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch, you're sitting in the front there, and we were running the recommended fly, which was the egg-sucking leech or vampire leech.
Yeah.
And Mitch, I'll let you take it from there. So what happened next?
It's kind of a blur, brother. But
Yeah,
my rod tip bent, and we were hooked up.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a frenzy, reeling, fighting, everything else, and then you netted the thing, and lo and behold, it was a beautiful brook trout.
It was a
Beautiful.
monster. Yeah.
First brook trout of the trip. It was a beautiful fish. Yeah.
Mitch, did you know that you caught the first fish every day?
I'm just thinking of that now. Yeah, I'm just realizing that now.
There you go.
You're right.
Yeah, you slam the first fish every day, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
100%.
Well, there you go, fellas.
Look at
First
that.
fish of the day.
That's why they call him Stillwater Mitchie.
Boom.
That's right. If you need some
That's
trolling
why.
done, let's go. You know what I'm saying? We can troll all day. It was great, man. It was such a nice fish. And that wasn't even like, the biggest fish that, like Pete was talking about 8-pounders.
Well,
Not
dude,
an
it was
8-pounder.
probably 4 pounds.
Yeah,
at
those
least.
are big for us.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It was a
Beautiful.
tank.
Nipigon is a
Oh,
beautiful
crazy!
fish, but
Oh no, God, no, not a 4-pound fish.
4 pounds. Come on. I'd honestly rather have just not caught the thing.
You son of
No,
a
that was a really special
awesome.
moment. That was super exciting.
Yeah.
Because that was the slam that we were
yeah,
waiting
you
for, right?
slammed the week, brother.
That was the slam. And Nick beautifully landed it. Got some nice photos. And
Mhm.
back in the water it went. Swam away. Back to the depths.
Could
Hopefully
have ended
to-
there, and it would have been a great day.
But you know what?
Yes.
Yes, but you know what?
Mitch, what happened?
Mitch, I was happy that one of the many flies that I tied actually worked.
Yeah, it was the vamp leech that you tied. Yeah, Aldo tied it up.
I tied a few for this trip, and yeah, they just weren't doing it until that day.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yes, I caught it on Aldo's fly, which was really cool. And then right after I caught my fish, like right after, like a couple minutes, right? Idis, you caught a fish as well.
I think it was like because Aldo and I we were kind of poking around near the rocky drop off.
It was like a cliff.
Yeah, and we saw fish hitting the surface, which I think they were eating like deer flies or horse flies or something when they land. That's what people
right.
were telling us. And we're like, well, we should probably cast where there's fish bopping around. It's probably a good idea. And then, same thing. I just chuck in egg sucking leech. And then we're sitting there, it's like slow retrieving. I was like, maybe we should retrieve it faster.
I was like, what if you stripped it?
Yeah, so I started stripping it immediately. Like, wham! I'm like, oh,
Dude, like
shoot.
first strip,
Yeah,
we
just
were
whacked
wind
it.
drifting, wind drifting with the synchro
We're just
lines.
kind of like twitching and like slow little things. And then, first strip annihilated a fly.
It's like just rip the fly, and like literally at the first, they just
Yeah, it was
fucking
rad.
smoked it. It was
Same
awesome.
thing. It was like big fish,
That's
rod's
awesome.
bent in half. And it's like, I'm a big guy, so I don't love fishing from canoes because I got a lot of leg
Yeah.
to put somewhere.
He's got a lot of leg.
a lot of leg.
Leggy boy.
So that was cool. Yeah, so it landed that fish.
Luckier with the shorties,
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
So
That was a nice fish. It was beautiful, the one you got, man.
Yeah. Well, it's good. You and I putting in the work.
Well,
Yeah,
then we
it was
got
nice
the two. Yeah, we had the 2 brookies. And yeah,
Big Papa got another one.
Oh yes, yeah.
Mhm.
I did get another one there.
Big
Yeah.
Papa got 2.
Yeah, I got two
Big
in there.
Papa got 2.
Yeah, same
Oh,
thing.
Damn.
Just it turns out where the fish are eating is where the fish are eating.
Well, I think
Racial
that
cast.
what brought me and Ace to that shore was to take photos of your fish, Mitch, and video of your fish.
Yeah,
And then when
yeah.
we were there, it was the shady part of the lake, so that's
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, we got another high Sunday. Also, can I just say, all these lakes would be an awesome canoe trip, like to
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
big
A lot
time.
of good
There are
camping spots.
beautiful campsites on them.
Yeah.
And like
And people do.
And people
Yeah.
do, obviously. But like I think it would make for a wicked canoe trip. Like and they're so small, you can just rip across them like pretty
Oh, yeah.
easily.
Totally.
You
Be
could
so
have an
chill.
awesome time having a really cool portage trip.
So
Yeah.
quick side note. When we got back, I was watching YouTube videos and I came across someone's random YouTube video, never seen their channel.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they were doing. They were
Oh,
ripping
nice.
through those lakes and then ended up on the main lake, canoed right past the lodge.
Oh,
Wow.
And I was like, oh, fish the falls. Turns out
Oh, cool.
that waterfall is on the cover of some fly fishing book from many years back.
Wow.
and
no
and it was
way.
an important moment for them. I don't know anything about them.
Oh,
That's
send
it.
us
That's
that
the whole
link
story.
and we'll put it in the show notes because I want to look at. I want to see that too. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I'll find
It
it.
was a wicked. The waterfall was very fly fishy.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, it would be a cool place to camp. 100%.
Yeah.
We
There's
noted
giant
a lot
brook
of
trout in
really
there.
interesting campsites along the way. That was
Mm-hmm. Little buggy.
so nice.
Little buggy.
Little buggy.
But that's the north. The north's
Yeah.
buggy.
for sure.
In June, especially.
in June especially. June is just like you're toast.
Yeah, I feel like
You're
we hit
toast.
that sweet spot where like on the first day the black flies were not hungry yet. They were just like dopey and they're like flying in your mouth and stuff.
Yeah.
And then by the third day they were awake and they wanted man flesh.
They had been awakened. Yeah.
That's what happens if you get a couple like really warm days in a row. They just
Yeah, they
find you.
were hungry. But that was
Well,
a fun
fellas,
day. Got some big
good-
old brookies.
It was a good day, and I don't think I'm missing anything else from like the rest of it. We went and fished the main lake again in the evening.
Yeah.
Had some really interesting moments seeing brook trout rising.
I think
Yeah.
you guys got whacked a couple times too. You know?
Oh, Adis
That's right,
lost a
you
really
did.
nice one that he's not going to want to talk about.
I
But
did?
these are
What?
naturalized. Yeah, in the last evening.
Oh, yes. That was the next day though, wasn't it? Was that the same day?
No, that's the last day.
That's the
dude.
night.
That was the
Oh
last
shoot!
day.
Yeah, we went out to take pictures in the evening. Oh yeah, let's just quickly talk about this.
Yeah.
We went out to take pictures because that's what we do, and then I guess we didn't really talk about the main lake either. The main lake was a bit different, and that's where
Well,
the
we didn't really fish it that much. I mean,
That's
Mitch did get a
exactly it.
laker on it.
Yeah. And so we went out to a spot that we thought was cool for photos. And they did say there was like a little channel area. They're like, yeah, just cast at structure, which we love doing. Like I love casting at structure. And then same thing, Nick and I went a little bit deeper. There was fish rising everywhere, but they're all over the place. You have no real chance in catching them. And so we found like the cliff. We're like, well, let's go check out that cliff over there. And we're just trolling in front of it, casting and like retrieving, whatever. I got whacked pretty good. And we're like, oh, that's interesting. So we went a little bit deeper to another little cliff, and then I hooked a fish there, and then it just kind of popped off.
Right beside the
Nick got a good
boat.
look at it though.
Oh man,
it was not a big brook trout. It was not.
So in the main lake. The brook
it was
trout that
tiny.
are there are not. They're not stocked, so they're totally wild there. But it was a beautiful 18, 19-inch male brookie. Nice orange flanks on it. Oh, it was sad.
No, it was tiny. It was a terrible fish. It was stupid. It was a dumb.
It was a nice one, dude.
No.
And you could see them rising all around that back
yeah,
lake, the back part of the lake. Like you'd see fish just randomly rise here and there. And it's not the kind of thing you see that kind of rise happen. You don't really go like, I'm going to target that with a dry because you're in a lake.
How?
The fish rises and then 5 minutes later it rises 50 feet to the right.
Yeah, that's right.
There's no predicting it, right?
I mean, it's kind of like what you guys were talking about on the first day. It was cool seeing their dorsals. You can see their whole back. You can see the fish totally perfectly. Like the water's so clear. They're just scooting around having a great time.
I saw one jump straight out of the water.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, cool. I saw the full brook trout. I'm like, that's like, wow, big brook trout. Yeah.
What are you eating?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun. It was a sad little end after losing some fish there at the end. But that's how she goes.
That's how she goes. I mean, stillwater trout fishing is probably the thing we all do the least.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty, I was pretty happy with us boys. I think we did a good job.
Mitch, you got the slam,
happy. Mitch got the slam. Did Nick get the slam?
No, I didn't get the slam.
You missed the laker, right?
No, and the brookie. I was a rainbow guy.
Oh, you're just the rainbow killer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, because you love rainbows.
Wait, Adis, did you get the slam?
No, I got Lakers and brookies.
But no rainbow.
No.
I'm not about the slam. I don't need to slam.
It kind of sounds like you
love
are.
the slam.
I love the slam.
What you talk about is the slams.
Yeah, slams are great.
I've seen your blog.
I'm just...
Nothing wrong with the slam.
Aldo the Slammer.
But
especially
about
spot.
If you think about it, we did a lot of different watercraft too, though, right? We fished out of wading in the river, right?
Yeah.
You were fishing on
tinnies.
their tinnies, which also we did not talk about their tinnies. 20 horsepower, those things were ripping across the lake.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Canoe, right?
Yeah. Canoe,
and then Mitch, you
and
really
a
got
raft.
to test out the raft. Yeah.
Yes, the oxbow.
We had the Oxbow, NRS Oxbow one-person raft.
So, yeah, we were watching... The new Fly Fisher's been there a couple times. And we watched several... I think I watched them all. And in one of them, they were like, oh, and if you bring a float tube, it's perfect for the back lakes. Which, it's true. And we had recently worked with NRS on their Gear Up and Go campaign. It was a merch clothing campaign.
Mm.
And so we had a pipeline to these guys, and I just kind of cold called Pat over at Fly Lords, who's the I guess the social media manager, media manager. Sorry, Pat, if I'm getting this wrong.
Works with NRS.
We're very professional.
He works at Fly Lords, but deals with the NRS account. I was like, Pat, we're flying into this place. They told us the back lakes are small, be great for inflatable watercraft. What do you think about us throwing one of your boats on a float plane and flying them in? And he was like, well, that sounds perfect for the Oxbow, which is a float tube it's not like, I don't know how to put this. It's not like
It's like a Watermaster, but it's open in the front, like a U-shaped boat.
Yeah, it's a U-shaped. It's somewhere in between like a float
metal
tube
frame
and
float tube.
It's a pontoon,
pontoon
style with a small frame.
Yeah, I think it's sick.
It's 45 pounds, so it's sick. It's light. You can sort of get it around. We used one of our canoe packs to pack it in and out, which I think was pretty smart. for the most part.
Yeah, we're smart.
And but that thing's rad, Mitch. What'd you think of it?
I liked it a lot. It was great. Perfect for
Yeah, you were
those little lakes.
scooting.
There's
you were
like we've been
scooting
saying
around.
this whole time. There's small lakes, so it's
Yeah.
great for something like that. You can kind of just
You got the oars
way
going.
around.
You got the
Yeah,
you
you're very
can get
nimble.
your flippers going.
Yeah.
You
Honestly,
got-
versus the canoe, that thing was the way for sure.
I think
it was fun.
I think you can really dial in like spots because you can hold yourself in a certain place. Like if you are
Yeah.
like, for example, that cliff we were on the Brook Trout Lake, ate us. Like
Yeah,
could have
exactly.
You could just park yourself in front of it and really worked it hardcore with the.
Honestly,
obstacle.
I would have just liked to have my legs in the water. It would have been
Well,
nice.
plus, it's all geared up for fishing, right? You got like a little tackle box on your right, and
Yeah.
you got
Yeah,
a little
rod
cup
holders
holder,
and stuff.
you got
yeah.
rod holders. Yeah, so it's
The rod
awesome.
holder. Yeah, it's cool because the frame
Your
has
net
the what are they called, Mitch? The yak racks, the yak attack.
Oh,
Yak
the
Attack.
yak attack. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a brand of yak accessories, and it seems like NRS maybe partnered up with them, and they make rod holders and the boxes and things like that.
It's just like easy way to slide.
Yeah,
It's like a
it has,
slidable
slide system,
gear. Yeah,
a rail system.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It was fun, but you're right. We did kind of do the Grand Slam of boats in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We fished them all.
the things.
Just gotta fish from the plane next time.
I was just gonna say that.
Ooh, that's like a dream of mine, man. I'd love to do
Troll
that.
behind the float.
You want to Indiana Jones it?
Yeah, man.
Land, cast, catch a fish, take off. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be very cool.
I guess Lee Wolf is probably a better reference, but you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
first scene of Indiana Jones. He's running back to the plane. The guy's catching the fish.
Yeah.
Start
I'd
the
rather-
plane.
I'd rather be in the Manippi River like Lee Wolf.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, for real.
You don't want to be Harrison Ford?
Oh yes,
No.
obviously.
In the Manippi River, yeah.
I bet you he fishes in jeans.
Oh, big
Definitely.
Definitely. Does. Come
time. Top
on.
and bottom.
That's right. That's right.
My old fishing hat actually wasn't a fishing hat. It's an Indiana Jones hat.
Yo.
Hell yeah.
Made of jean.
But yeah,
Well, I was just gonna say we had a blast doing all that, and we left a day early because bad weather rolled in, and
Mhm.
it was either leave then or be stuck there for 3 more days, and we all have jobs and family obligations and whatnot. So we left the day early.
it was my mom's birthday.
It was your mom's birthday, yeah.
And Steph's birthday.
That's right, and my wife's birthday, so we had to get out of there because I don't think she'd be very happy with us calling saying, "See you in 3 more days. We're
Yeah.
stuck at the fishing lodge."
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
my
hard to
mom was
pull off.
visiting into like she's like coming to Toronto for her birthday. Imagine, I'm just like, we decided to stay. Sorry,
It
Yeah.
got cloudy. I'm
happy
sorry.
birthday.
But all in all, awesome trip, and yeah, it was fun. I'm glad that I got to do it with you fellas, and
100%.
A lot of
and
laughs.
a lot of laughs,
A
A
Always
lot of
good
laughs.
times.
Couple pops.
Big thanks to Pete and his team.
Yeah,
I thought they
Thanks,
were great.
Pete.
They're just great hosts. Like you said, Mitch, I've been hearing about this place for a while now, and
yeah.
a couple of our friends have gone there, and a couple of our listeners have gone there, and they were
Yeah.
so kind to reach out and give us advice, and so thanks to them, and obviously thanks to NRS and our sponsors like Muskoka and Reddington, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And of course Algoma, Rob, and
Yeah,
sending
but
us
Algoma.
on these. When we started SoFly, or Mitch started SoFly, the goal was to explore the province, and they're helping us do it, and I think it's so rad. And like
Hell
you're saying
yeah.
at the top of the show, like how cool is it to do a trout-only trip?
Very cool.
Very cool. We'd
Yeah.
do it again.
Agreed. I would too.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we will, boys.
Sign me up.
This time on ATVs.
Boom.
Yeah.
Done.
Until next time, fellas,
Keep your motor running.
keep your motor running.
Or something.
Keep your rod in your hand.
There you go.
Keep your rod in your hand.
There you go.
Cut that out.
no.
That's staying.
No, that's staying.
All right. See you, boys.
All right, one love.
But
Yeah, that was a great trip.
It was an awesome trip. I mean, yeah, like I think we were saying before the trip leading up, like it's obviously probably the last skill set in our toolbox of skills, still water trout fishing. And because we just don't do it that often.
Yeah, no, for sure. But also, like Nick said, it's such a unique thing to go on just a Northern Ontario trip for just trout.
Oh, I was saying that in a positive light. Like, despite
Yeah,
not
Very
doing it all the
positive.
time, like I think we did well. We caught every species that you can. Were we roping them? No. But we did well. We caught rainbows, we caught Lakers,
did really well. Yeah,
and we lost to Nick. Also forgot to mention he broke a rod
Right, on the
like
way in.
15 minutes before I dumped mine in the lake. So this is a bit of a challenging first day.
Yeah.
If you were a rod on that trip.
Yeah, it was, but it was super fun, and Blue Fox Camp is definitely worth checking out. Pete, thanks again for having us up, and everybody up there, thanks for having us and hosting us. Yeah, it's a cool place, Blue Fox Camp. It would be really cool to check it out see what it's like in the winter, just out of curiosity. I know people do go up there then, but yeah, spring and fall to go to the camp itself.
I think one thing we forgot to kind of mention is just how beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we mentioned the beauty, but like what I found really unique was all of the like elevation. So
Yeah.
like there's all these on Kirkpatrick Lake. There's all these dramatic cliffs.
Yeah, very hilly, cliffy lakes.
Yeah, exposed rock faces. Adis was like, "Oh my god, this would be great for climbing." And Pete's like, "People come here to climb all the time."
Right. Yeah, people don't just go to Blue Fox Camp for fishing.
Yeah,
They go for climbing. Pete was talking about that, like other things he might look at offering for people that, from a retreat standpoint, want to get into the woods and do fun stuff.
Yeah, eco
'Cause there's a
retreat
lot.
and all that stuff.
The
Yeah,
hiking around there is cool. The paddling is cool. The camping is cool. There's a lot of cool stuff about
there's a lot
Blue
of cool
Fox Camp.
stuff, and it's got a neat history. And like I said,
Yeah.
the fish are obviously beautiful. Some are naturalized, some are stocked, some are wild. It's like, yeah, it's awesome.
Yep. What do we got going on? Well, when this comes out, we'll be just getting back from up north Manitoulin area, fishing with Brian Still.
Yeah, McGregor Bay.
McGregor Bay.
Yeah,
We're going fishing for big toothy fish, maybe some pike, maybe some muskie, and of course bass.
oh yeah,
Big
big time.
smallmouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be fishing with our good friend Ryan. Of course, Ryan, we've had on the show before. He was from Kudete at the time. He's up there. He's having us up. We're going to crash it up at his place and his family's place and go fishing with Brian.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Excited?
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're leaving.
No cell service.
We're recording this July 8th, which is a Tuesday. We're leaving tomorrow, July 9th, on Wednesday.
Yep.
Well, midweek ripper.
I'm excited there's no cell service. I need to get the hell off my phone for a few days.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, go put the little email thing on, saying "Don't bug me."
I think I might bring some nice green tea. Is that crazy? Is that wild?
No, is that wild? Is that green tea? Is that wild?
I can make like cold green tea to have throughout the day. That'd be kind of rad. I'm just thinking about that now because I haven't packed anything. I got to pack.
Oh, we
later.
can make some iced tea. That'd be super fun, actually.
Yeah, like iced green tea.
Is that fun? I don't know. It's fun.
It's fun. I love iced green tea. There's nothing
We can fill that.
quenching
We can
to me.
fill that 5-gallon Yeti with iced tea, and we can all just hammer iced tea all day long.
Dude, yeah.
Actually, let's do that. I'll bring it.
Yeah, we'll feel really, really good.
Yeah, and refreshed.
Refreshed. Our metabolisms will be going. We'll have a little caffeine. We're going to be great. We're going to be healthed up. It's going to be a healthy retreat.
Well, mid-20s for the week and some sunshine. It's going to rain a little bit tomorrow, which whatever. But we're there for a full moon, which we're really hoping for a muskie. So, yeah.
And we're going to fish at evening as well, right?
We're going to fish an evening, yeah. We're going to do a morning and day session, and then we're going to do an afternoon and evening session.
Which I'm pretty excited about.
Oh.
I can't wait. It's going to be fun. I haven't been up there yet. You guys went last year. I'm excited to meet Brian.
Very beautiful.
Of course, we're going to do a podcast up there, and we're going to make a little video about it as well, which will come out later this year.
Yeah, because we're trying out some super secret rods.
Super secret.
Super secret.
Nice, big old rods.
Which you were fishing the 8-weight in Blue Fox.
I did. I caught trout on that thing. And that tells you how big some of those trout were, or how much they fucking pulled, because I was fishing a big 8-weight rod, and it was like some of the trout were like going, especially that one Laker that I lost.
I'm sorry.
Maybe it was a rainbow. I think it was a Laker because the way it fought went straight down and everything else.
Yeah, rainbows tend to go berserk, hey?
Yeah, they will jump up out of the water and stuff. This Laker, it was very Laker from what I've heard of Lakers, because those are some of the first Lakers I've caught, which I haven't.
Yeah, that was another crazy thing you didn't really meant.
I never caught
glazed over. You never caught a Laker before, and then you did it.
I don't know how. I just don't really fish places with Lakers or target them. I mean, they're like kind of an interesting fish to target. So the fact that we did it on the fly was very cool.
They're a native char species of Ontario.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very pretty. It would be cool. I would definitely go back up to Blue Fox. I do like the Little Lake exploration thing. It is fun. Going from pond to pond, like lake to lake, pond to pond, if you will, like little lake to little lake. Like,
Spawn to spawn.
It was very. It would be really cool in the fall.
That's what I'm thinking. Like I was saying, the dramatic cliffs and like how it's so it's all hilly, and all those everything would be just so colorful.
No bugs.
Because you're actually,
That's cool.
You're far from Toronto, but you're actually not that far north.
No.
So like the forest is very diverse in terms of like it's not just
like pine or
it's not just pine. So like the
maple.
The whole forest would just be alive with color. Like
it's not just deciduous. It is not just coniferous. It is a blend of all of the trees
both the
Ontario
forests
has to offer. Yeah, it is. It's a very pretty area.
We weren't that far from. Remember that time years ago, Yilma and I went to
Birchland,
and like we hit the colors peak.
That's near Iron Bridge.
That was like amazing.
That was Iron Bridge, right?
That was Iron Bridge. Yeah, we're not that far away from it, so it would be the same. Yeah, very unique. Trout only northern trip was. I had fun. I had fun.
Me too.
I didn't catch a single fish.
Well, you were shooting a lot.
Yeah. And my rod was at the bottom of the lake.
And the rod was at the bottom of the lake. You were shooting a lot. You're the shooting boy. You were the shooting boy on this trip, which is awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Footage is okay?
Taking the hit on the fishing. The footage is great. There's 4 hours of it. I'm trying to get it down to, maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Shit.
Cutting a video that'll come out sometime after this podcast, let's say very closely. Within days of July 15th, I would check the YouTube page, the SoFly YouTube page, because you could watch a video of this trip, see some of the fish we caught. Get some pointers about how to fish it if you do go up yourself. But yeah, I would say like if you're going to go fish this yourself, it's trout, right? It's very much like a time of year thing. When you're there will dictate, I think, a little bit more how you'll fish it. We happen to be there at a very good sinking line trolling time. But yeah. Okay, well, rock and roll. I'm going to go make a sandwich, and then I'm going to edit this podcast today. I'm going to make a chopped chicken. I'm going to chop everything up and make it, and then I'm going to press it in a panini.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got a panini.
That's why I'm kind of on a bit of a sandwich kick.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Who doesn't love a chopped sandwich?
Who doesn't love a sandwich?
Sandwiches is
probably Caledon Town Council.
Probably, yeah, those bastards. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Pete, thank you for having us up. Blue Fox Camp, everybody at Blue Fox Camp, thanks for having us up.
Yes.
Thanks for coming and shooting in Idis.
Yeah, of course. Thanks to Rob over at Algoma,
thank you at Algoma.
And thanks to the team at NRS for giving us the Oxbow. That was rad. Stoked to use it on the rivers down here.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to the usual chums, Reddington, Costa, Muskoka Brewery. For giving us stuff. Our Emma and Graham at Yeti for getting us some. So the gear loadout box is pretty cool. I'll say the last thing. I was like, it's almost like a Pelican but bigger.
Yeah.
And that worked really well as a camera case. I think that's the new go-to camera case for sure. On the boat. Anyway.
Yeah, we had a new Yeti, like the yellow Yeti one.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I will say it was awesome.
It's an awesome camera storage solution for sure.
Yeah. And shout out to, Finn and Lauren up there. You guys, thanks so much for putting in the hospitality. It was great.
Oh, Todd and Glassy Bay Outfitters.
Todd at Glassy Bay. And the other pilot too. Was it Doug? I think it was Doug. Lithuanian fella. Him and Idis were like best buddies.
We didn't talk about that at all.
Maybe we have some footage of that in the video on YouTube. You can go check it out later. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. That's it for me, Mitch. Aldo.
Yes, thanks everybody. Until next time.
Take care.
Comb your hair.